I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Just stare 'cause the flames will burn us.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing What If Deku Was a Power Ranger. I'm sorry I haven't posted in a while. Let me go ahead and give you guys a little summary of why I haven't posted in a while. So, number one, my hamster that I got not too long ago died. And number two, the last two videos I posted didn't do as well compared to my other videos. And then number three, I just got a new hamster. And yeah, and I'm gonna be going on a fishing trip tomorrow, so you know, my schedule's been pretty packed. So yeah, and if you didn't know, one of those two videos that didn't do so well was the last video with the all my action figures. So next video I'll probably have the winners and give them a shout out. So yeah, if you watch this video till the very end, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and then United States of smash the bell icon to be notified when I post a new video, because you wouldn't want to miss out on a video where you could win a shout out, do you? Okay, that's disgusting. My dog just peed on the fence where the other dog was sitting. That is disgusting. Okay. Like I was saying, you wouldn't want to miss out on that kind of opportunity, would you? Man, this water's only making my mouth drier. Hold on, guys. Don't mind me. Okay, that's better. Oh, man, it was the straw. Man, that feels so much better. Alright, so, let me go ahead and give a little backstory to this What If. So Deku, all the way since he was a toddler, he has, okay, so I'm going to say Deku's dad is with him and Inko in this What If. And he is a professional mountain rock climber, and he's also a pro hero. His name's literally Rock Climber. He's a rescue hero. And his quirk allows him to move faster on, he's able to climb without any gear, and he also is able to climb things faster. That's basically his quirk. Not very useful, is it? But it's helpful when in search and rescue scenarios in the Himalayas. I know it's not likely he'll be going to the Himalayas, but yeah. So, ever since Deku was a toddler, he has been going rock climbing with his dad. So we're gonna fast forward to when he's 4 and he's at the Cork Doctor. So the Cork Doctor's like, "Sorry, ma'am, but your son doesn't have a cork. He doesn't have that joint in his pinky toe." And Inko is like, "What? No, he should have a cork." And then the doctor's like, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but he doesn't." And then Deku's dad is like, and then the doctor's like, "I'm sorry, Mr. Mr. Midoriya, but your son doesn't have a cork." And Deku's dad is really saddened by this, because he wanted his son to be able to become a pro hero like him someday, because he knows how big of a hero fan he is. And Deku is shocked. He's horrified at this. He's like, "I'll never be able to be a hero?" And the entire way home, he just has this blank, shocked face on him. And then Deku's dad says, hey, when I say Deku, just imagine I'm saying Izuku, because, I don't want to constantly say Izuku, I want to say Deku, because it's easier to say. So, Deku's dad says, hey, Deku, do you want to go, rock climbing with me this Sunday? We're going to be going on the highest rock climb we've ever went on. And then Deku says, yeah, I would love to. Deku's dad is thinking, hopefully this takes his mind off of not having a cork. So, they're driving up there, and they hear a loud boom. Like a meteor just hit the rock climbing site that they were about to go to. And they look around and they're not seeing anything. Deku sees a small little smoke on the mountain that they're going on. Like literally right on the rock climbing area that they're going to be climbing in. He sees a little bit of smoke coming from it. But he doesn't take much notice to it because, when you're a kid, you don't immediately think, oh, that's a meteor. I mean, no one would think immediately that's a meteor, So, Deku's dad is like, it must be nothing. Don't worry, bud. This isn't going to stop us. So, Deku's dad drives up to the place, and they get into their little cabin, and, they get all their rock climbing gear. I mean, not his dad, because Deku's dad doesn't need rock climbing gear. But Deku gets lots of rock climbing gear, lots of protective gear, because, he's only 4 years old, and he's going to be going on, look at those mountains in the background. Those are the kind of mountains that they're climbing. So, Deku's dad and Deku get started on the climb, and they're climbing, and then Deku notices something that catches his eye. You know how children can be when they see something, basically, if they see something shiny or something they want, they're going to go after it. So, Deku, without Deku's dad knowing, he climbs over to this little cave, and then he walks in, he gets pretty far in, and then he looks behind him, and there's no light coming from the outside world. And he runs over, and he sees the cave is closed off. There was never an entrance there. And Deku's looking around, and he started crying. He's like, Dad! 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 And he's crying. He's bawling his eyes out. But then he remembers what his dad told him if he ever gets lost while on a rock climbing trip. He said, put a flare down. So Deku grabs a flare, and then he realizes a flare's not going to do much in a cave. So he puts it back in, and he starts sniffling, like he starts trying to stop the crying. So he starts walking into the cave because he remembered what his dad said. Not to be afraid. Stay calm. So Deku, is just attempting to stay calm, but he's still sniffling. So he's going through the cave, and he's going through, and then he sees this futuristic UFO-like thing. And he walks inside, and he's being really careful. And, he's seeing all these buttons, he's seeing all these lighting red buttons, he's seeing all these glowing things. It's all shiny. And he's walking through, and then this robot greets him. Hi, young Master Deku. How are you? And then Deku is startled by this and falls to the ground, scared for his life. He's like, Who are you? How do I get out of here? And then he's like, Don't worry. Master knew you would be coming. Master Zordon knew you would be coming. Follow me. And Deku says, why should I trust you? And he pulls the flare out, and he's about to light it to try and scare him off, basically. And then Deku lights it because the robot was getting closer. And then the robot just uses his fingers and puts out the flame. And he's like, come with me, please. And please try not to make a racket. I just cleaned this thing. And Deku is, like, scared. Like, he wants his dad. He wishes he never did this. But he starts following the robot. And then he comes across this weird thing of panels. And then a face pops through. And he's like, and then the face says, "Hi there, Deku. I didn't mean to scare you. But we aren't where we're supposed to be." Oh, we're not where we're supposed to be, Deku. And Deku's like, "How do you know my name? And what do you mean you're not where you're supposed to be?" And then Zordon says, "Okay, let me start over. My name is Zordon. What is your name?" Deku says, "You know my name, don't you, Deku?" And then Zordon says, "Yes, I did, but I'm trying to be nice and calm you down. So, what I meant was, we're not in the right universe. You may not understand this now, but you will understand this later. We were in a universe where there was a team of 5 people with superpowers, and then aliens. There were no humans with powers, only 5 of them had powers. But in your universe, everyone has superpowers, or what you guys call them, quirks." And then Deku starts crying, and he says, "I don't have a quirk." And Zordon says, "I have detected that there is a powerful villain here that not even your strongest villain can take out. So, how would you like to become something that can stop that villain?" And Deku says, "All Might can defeat anyone." And then Zordon says, "Not everyone." And then Zordon, so let me go ahead and say something. I'm kind of mixing all the Power Ranger universes together. So I'm taking the movie, that's the suit he's gonna have, except a little bit touched to be more like how Deku would most likely want it, green. I wouldn't say he necessarily would want it green, but his old suit was green, his hair's green, his eyes are green, green everything. So, I can't see crap. There we go. Then Deku, oh dang, sorry. Back to what I was saying. I'm mixing all the Power Ranger universes together, or a couple of them together. So I'm mixing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers into here with Zordon and the UFO. And then, if you guys haven't seen this one, this is a newer Power Rangers. Not the newest one, Beast Rangers. I know there's already a Beast Rangers, but the remake of that. But this is Dino Charge. It's the Power Rangers where this basically Zordon, but an alien, gave these crystals to dinosaurs, and then these humans find them, and they're, dinosaur Power Rangers, basically. I'm going to be taking the crystal aspect from them, and I'm probably going to use the dinosaur Megazords, but that's for a different episode. So yeah, like I was saying, what time is it? 8:20. Okay, I'm on schedule. Alright, like I was saying. So, Zordon tells the robot to give Deku something. Deku is like, "Wait, what are you wanting to give me?" And then the robot pulls out this red crystal and says, "Take it. It will give you a cork." And then the robot laughs, chuckles. What a silly name, isn't it, Master? For superpowers. And then Zordon says, superpowers isn't much better. Just give him the crystal. Or just give him the crystal. What do they call it again? No, it's not a dino charger. What do they call those crystals? I'll just call them crystals. I forgot what they call them. I haven't seen the show in a while. Ah, dang. Alright, so like I was saying. So the robot gives Deku the crystal and says the pathway should be opened back up. I recommend you go before your dad calls out a search party. Because we don't need anyone else finding this place. So then Deku runs out, and he's like, Dad! Dad! And then he pulls out another flare, lights it, and then sticks it in the ground. Immediately, all the search parties that Deku's dad had called in find him because of the flare. And Deku's dad is like, what were you thinking, going out like that? And Zordon told him not to tell anybody about the crystal. So Deku just says, I went exploring. And then Deku's dad is like, I know you want a cork, but you didn't have to scare me like this. You don't have a cork, Izuku. Sorry, I just thought it was fitting to say Izuku once. So Deku starts bawling, and then Deku's dad starts bawling. And he says, I'm so sorry, I couldn't give you a cork. I'm so sorry. And they embrace, and they're like, it's such a touching moment. So Deku goes home, and now we're gonna fast forward maybe 4 years, or we're gonna fast forward to the end of middle school. Deku has been training with the crystal. He knows how to activate it. He knows how to use the weapons it gives. He knows how to use the abilities it gives, because he's been training. Since that day, he has been training with it. So, I would have to say he knows about as much as the Rangers on their... Because the Rangers were, like, really fast learners. And they were older than him. So, they would be really quick learners. So, I'm going to say he knows as much as he knows, or as they know, maybe 10 episodes in to the show of any of the Power Rangers. 10 episodes in, he knows as much as they do. As any of the Power Rangers. On the 10th episode, he knows as much as they do. So, yeah. And that's quite a bit because, they basically learned how to do it immediately, so. That's quite a bit. So, Deku... sorry. The teacher is like, it's time to find out what all of you want to do when you guys grow up. And he throws the papers in the air, and he's like, who cares? I know you all want to be heroes. And everyone starts using their corks, and then Bakugo's like, don't put me in a class with any of these B-listers. And then Deku is like, Bakugo, you need to stop being so cocky. If you don't get into UA, I'm going to let you have it for the rest of your life. And then Bakugo's like, you're never gonna get in UA, you loser. And then he just blows Deku's face, like, straight into a wall. He's like, you're never gonna be in UA, you corkless loser. And then he kicks Deku while he's down and walks out. Everyone else starts getting their things and walking out. Also, Deku gets up with a smile on his face and he says, I am going to let him have it someday. But right now, I don't need him to know that I have abilities. Oh, what is this? Alright. Like I was saying. So Deku starts walking home. And then immediately the sludge villain, attacks him. But the sludge villain notices something when he attacked him. It was a human when he came out of the sewage drain. And now it's a man in a suit. So, he grapples onto Deku, but then he notices all the sludge that was, grabbing him was just cut off. And so Deku jumps away, and then he pulls out his blaster. I think that's what they call it. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it blaster. It's basically their guns that they use, basically. I say basically a lot. I'm really sorry. And I'm sorry that if I stutter. This isn't scripted. I know I say that all the time, but this isn't scripted. So, yeah. Deku just starts laying into him with his blaster. And the sludge villain is getting destroyed by this. Because the lasers in the show are OP. I mean, they cause they cause enough they cause the same amount of damage as C4. Basically, when they hit something, it does the same amount of damage as C4. Maybe it causes a smaller explosion, but it's still OP. So yeah. He's just laying into him. And some people notice that there's a lot of explosions coming from underneath the bridge, so they've already called the heroes. And All Might is on his way because he was chasing the sludge villain, and now he knows where the sludge villain is. So Deku's just laying into him, and there's so many holes in the sludge villain that you could basically pronounce, if this were a normal person, you could pronounce them dead already. So the sludge villain's like, what kind of quirk do you have? And he's just screaming in pain as another shot goes straight through his head. Or whatever you call the sludge villain's head. Does the sludge villain even have a head? Whatever. It goes through that area, and the sludge villain's like, and he just kind of flops down, whatever. And he's like, what a strong quirk you have. I'm gonna be taking that. And he launches at Deku. But then Deku, with a swift motion, slices the sludge villain in half, jumps through the two pieces that were flying off, does a little cartwheel, or not a cartwheel, or a roll, I guess you could say, turns around and lays in maybe 10 more shots into the sludge villain. Then All Might arrives, and he arrives with, I am here! And then he already notices the sludge villain's basically almost dead, and he's like, wait, what? What's happening here? And then Deku goes full geek mode, and he's like, oh my gosh, All Might! Because he's a bigger hero fan in this because of his dad. His dad's a hero, so that means, he would, he would love heroes even more. So, Deku's like, oh my gosh, and then All Might's like, okay, whatever. And then he's like, Detroit Smash! And the sludge villain is like, boom! He's down for the count. And then All Might puts him in a jar, like in original continuity. And then Deku is like, oh my gosh, can you sign my... And he opens it up, and and then All Might already signed it. He's like... And All Might's like, how did you defeat the sludge villain? Oh, it's just some weapons I made. Because he's trying to play it off like he doesn't have a quirk. Because, Zordon told him not to tell anyone. And speaking of Zordon has actually been helping him train. Where is my dog? I didn't let him in, did I? Oh, there he is. Alright, like I was saying, Zordon has been training him. Man, I was going to do a double upload today. But man, my throat's already pounding. Alright, like I was saying, Zordon has been training him. Back to the story. Zordon told him not to tell anybody. So he's not even going to tell All Might. So All Might's like, those are some pretty impressive weapons. Let me guess, you want to be a support hero? Not really. Since I don't have a quirk, I can't really become a hero the hero I want to be. So yeah. And then All Might's about to jump away, but then Deku grabs on. And All Might's like, what are you doing? And Deku's like, I had one last question. So All Might lands, and Deku asks him the question. Do you think I can become a hero without a quirk? And All Might says, no. Deku is really crushed by this, but he knows he doesn't have a quirk. But he has the crystal. The Power Ranger abilities. So, he's walking home dispirited. But then he sees a giant crowd of people. A giant crowd of people. Look. And then he notices in the middle is the sludge villain with a hostage. And he gets in to look, and he sees that it's Bakugo he's holding hostage. He knows that he doesn't like Bakugo, but he knows he needs to save him. So he walks away into an alley. He transforms into the Power Ranger, and he jumps on top of a building and starts laying into the sludge villain. And then he drops down with his sword and cuts straight through the sludge villain's arm, you could say, that was holding on to Bakugo. And then he grabs Bakugo and throws him over to the heroes. And then the sludge villain grapples onto Deku, and he's like, this time you're not getting away. And he's trying to seep through the suit, and he's like, wait, I can't get in. What's going on? And then Deku does a backflip over the sludge villain and lays maybe 10 more shots into the sludge villain. And he's like, what the heck? And then Deku uses his swords and slices the sludge villain in two, and then supercharges his gun and fires 2 shots through both sides that he cut, like basically incinerating the sludge villain. But the sludge villain still has a little piece, like maybe a tiny, like not exactly tiny, but maybe a adult human-sized chunk left. So he's like, I'm gonna kill you. And then All Might smashes the sludge villain into nothingness. And then Deku, knowing that the heroes are probably about to question him and all that, he runs off and then and then gets out of the suit. And he's walking home, and then All Might walks up to him and says, I thought you said you didn't have a quirk. And Deku explains everything, because I'm sorry I didn't mention it, but All Might did explain his injury and all that. So Deku explains everything because he knows he can't get out of this. So he explains everything. And All Might asks him the big question. Do you want my quirk? And that's where I'm going to leave it off for this episode. I hope you guys did enjoy. I'm off schedule. Crap. Whatever. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you all next time. Oh yeah, and if you watch this to this point, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, and then United States of smash the bell icon to be notified when I post a new video. So yeah, peace out, guys.